You know, he starts out with the Death Knight harass while he creeps through the ghouls to get level 2. That's very common. And, follow what I did to get the Death Knight away. The first creep camp I did, pretty easily, and then he showed up, and all I did was, have skeletons focus his hero, which I think is really good. Even if you only use one skeleton to focus his hero, have something chasing him around. If he holds position, he just takes more damage. If he runs around, you know where he is at all times. And so if he's coming into coil range, stop hitting the creep at above 100 HP. If he really comes in to swipe it 2 times then coil it, he's going to take so much damage to Death Knight, it doesn't matter. Grats, he took 1 creep. Now he can't harass you anymore, and you can creep the entire rest of the map unhindered. Don't worry about it. He's harassing you. He's saying it's more important to stop you creeping than for me to creep faster. So obviously, it's a big threat to him if your heroes get higher. Because, if you do that tier 2 push, all you have to do is silence him, and who cares what level coil he has. If he's only tier 2, he doesn't have Destros. If you think about it, if you have a level 4 Dark Ranger, actually, I guess it requires level 3 silence to actually completely chain silence your opponent. But, coil has a 7-8 second cooldown or something, and silence lasts like 12 seconds or something on heroes at level 2 or something. Even if you time silence at the worst possible time, you're still delaying his next coil. And so, silence is a good spell. It'll help, up to the point it gets Destros, and even then, if you time it right, it'll still be helpful. Just sort of, point is, do that push. Keep your units alive. Don't fight them. Don't go out of your way until you have your second hero. But pretty much, keep creeping, and use Scout Whisper check for expansions. And then when he comes up, like that creep check right there, you buy the mercs up. Some of it is that it was sort of a conscious decision to creep that camp because. They're like your opponent will creep check you at certain points in time. In this point in time, it was he got level 2 and then ran his ghouls over. That's a very common one, and so you creep, essentially the same camps he does. So he starts running over, you start creeping the merchant camp out, the merc camp out. And what happens is you get a bunch of exoskeletons, which I use to right-click his Death Knight. Really, really, really very important. By the way, control groups for that. Hero and archers in 1, skeletons all in 2. And so all I did was 2A click the Death Knight, and then I just had 1 running around, grab the mercs, add them with shift 1 to the control group, and just ran around dancing on ghouls, silencing his Death Knight whenever I could, which I believe I did do in that battle, which helped me pick off the first few ghouls. And, then it's just, well, I'm doing a lot of focus damage. My hero does, only level 1 Black Arrow for the first part. It does, let's say, 28 damage average. My archer's all doing 17. Essentially, an archer will kill a ghoul in 20 shots. That's the average damage versus HP bit. And, the Troll Shadow Shaman does even more than, or Shadow Priest, whatever. Does a little bit more than an archer. Troll Berserker does about double what an archer does. And so, I've got these 5 archers plus these 2 mercs adding about 4 archers worth of damage on, or 3 archers worth, whatever it is. And I've got, essentially, the ability to kill a ghoul in 2 volleys. And if he's silenced, the ghoul's going to die in 2 volleys. So you knock out a ghoul, knock out a ghoul, knock out a ghoul, you're plus 3 skeletons, and now his army sucks. And yeah, I'll probably pick off a couple archers of yours, there we go, as you saw there, but, even still, archers aren't getting me resources. Now, as it turned out, he had enough wood, for the game, but, even still, I'm bringing this point up because it's important. It does hurt him when you show up at this tier 2 push, he doesn't have any units. And he doesn't have any units. There we go. Having a lich sucks and all that, but when you've got a panda, and you've got a lot of damage output, and you've got skeletons, for this whole slippery slope bit, you can do a very good push on your opponent. And even if he pushes you back, as you saw what I did there, I put up my lures and I put up my expansion while that was going on. And it's very important to remember getting your buildings in and having enough money in the middle of that. It's very important, because, there's 2 main things undeads love to do to you at tier 2. They love to make you cancel your lures a bunch, and they love to make you cancel your expo a bunch. Those both cost a shitload of wood. And the thing they do with Gargs is they harass your wisps constantly. And so if you can't get your dryads up, there's no way you can really kill any Gargs. You can just run it over the trees against archers, heal it up, come back, whatever. You can keep harassing your wisps and essentially keep you in your base. And if you only have archers, you're not going to be able to, fight them off from, canceling your lures and stuff very easily and whatnot. Point is, he can dance over your base for a while, He can go to your expansion, go to your main, go to your wisp, go to your expand. You know, he can just keep dancing around and making you cancel stuff, and just ruin your money income. While he's gathering money at full speed and making units at full speed, you're just making and canceling buildings over and over, not getting any reinforcements. So even if you kill anything, his army's still bigger. And so what you do with this push is, I mean, it's very helpful when they go tier 3 because they won't have the extra base defense in there. But you show up and you keep them occupied, and that means your expo goes up unhindered, your lures go up unhindered. You keep your wisps alive for that much longer, letting you build up, a stockpile of wood. I mean, the longer you can keep them from harassing you, the better it is. And if they're going A-bombs, then yeah, they're not going to really arc harass you very much. But they will try to kill you at tier 3, or your expansion at tier 3 with Ghoul Frenzy and stuff. And it becomes problematic.